can't point at someone and say, this person made your student debt load so much more. It's the whole system.
Ever felt a pinch in your pocket just thinking about college fees? Well, you're not alone. College in the US doesn't come cheap. And it's not just the fees, it's the entire experience. So let's take a ride down college costs lane and see what's been happening. Now, if you've been eyeing community colleges, they're kinder on the bank balance. 2-year in-district colleges cost around $3,800 for the 2021 to 22 school year. But think bigger and the price jumps. Heading to a public 4-year college in your state, that's around $10,740. If you're from out of state, brace yourself. It's about $27,560. And for those dreaming of private universities, it's a whopping $38,070 on average. But here's a twist. COVID-19 changed the game. When everything went topsy-turvy, colleges were like, okay, we need students. Let's not increase the fees too much. So the usual skyrocketing prices took a mini break, with just a 1% to 2% hike for 2021 to 22. Sounds great, right? But here's the catch. While colleges slowed down, inflation sped up. In simple words, everything else got pricier. So even if colleges weren't raising fees like before, it felt like they were. John Burney, a wise guy from Solomon Admissions Consulting, chipped in. He mentioned that with inflation at a massive 40-year high in 2022, colleges that increased their prices by the usual 4% still seemed a tad cheaper. But don't let that fool you. Once inflation calms down, colleges might just slap on some juicy price tags. Some colleges couldn't resist and have already started. The University of Virginia, for instance, decided they'd hike tuition by 4.7% for 2022 to 23. And guess what? They're planning another 3.7% increase next year. Lafayette College didn't want to be left behind either. They upped their costs by 4% for 2022 to 23. And let's be real. After 2 years of somewhat stable rates, these hikes could give some students a mini heart attack, especially with everything else costing an arm and a leg due to inflation. So, what's making these colleges so pricey? The reasons vary. Some are like, we need to pay our staff more because, hello, inflation. Others have to manage expenses for maintaining those swanky campus buildings. And let's not forget, colleges are now offering more services, like mental health counseling. These all add up. Moral of the story: college in America is an experience, both academically and financially. If you're planning on attending, just make sure your piggy bank is ready. Let's break down the big-ticket reasons behind those jaw-dropping price tags. First up, there's this tricky thing called state funding. Here's a simple way to look at it. The government used to chip in a good chunk to help cover college costs. But lately they've been like, nah, families can handle it. Mark Kantrowitz, a big brain at Saving for College, says that since the 2008 financial meltdown, the cash states put into colleges has dipped like ice cream on a hot day. From 2008 to 2018, 41 states spent less on each student, slashing about 13% per kiddo. And what did colleges do? They boosted their prices by 37%. But wait, there's more. Our paychecks haven't been growing as fast as they used to since the groovy 70s. This means families are faced with two not-so-great options: drown in student loans or pick a cheaper college option. Now, here's where things get sneaky. John Pearson, who knows a thing or two about college finances, spills some tea on the marketing tricks colleges play. Over the past 30 years, colleges saw the next big wave of students thanks to the baby boomers having kids. Remember how college was a big deal for them? Well, they want the same or better for their kids. Colleges, being the clever institutions they are, caught on to this. Most students don't pay the full amount. Still, the bite-sized fact is that even with scholarships and grants, the actual cost for families has jumped 63% over the past 2 decades at 4-year public colleges. Yikes. Now, onto the juicy details. Picture this. Back in the 1940s and 50s, Uncle Sam made it cheaper for veterans and everyday folks to go to college. This was great news, and tons of people flocked to campuses. But a funny thing happened. As more and more people enrolled, there was less money spread around for each student. That's what Andrew Pentis, a smarty pants from Student Loan Hero, says. With more students and less cash per student, colleges had to crank up their prices. The only hiccup. Recently, thanks to the pandemic, enrollments dropped a bit, especially in 2-year colleges where they saw a hopping 12% dip. On to financial aid. When you hear financial aid, you might think of freebies, scholarships, grants, and all that jazz. But there's a twist. It also means loans, especially those from the government. Back in the 90s, they threw open the doors for students and families to borrow money. But did colleges lower their fees since students had access to loans? Nope. Colleges saw that students could borrow more and kept their prices high. Why? Well, folks still believe a college degree is like a golden ticket to earn more in life. And guess what? They're right. If you've got a bachelor's degree, you're likely earning a hefty 85% more than someone who stopped at high school. Think of a college like a 5-star hotel. Post-pandemic, colleges added more bells and whistles for safety and space, but all these perks come with a price tag. So, to offer these luxuries and keep their doors open, colleges have had to, you guessed it, pump up their prices. Got a bit of extra cash now. Think beyond the piggy bank. Ever heard of a 529 plan? Imagine a box where your money grows without any pesky taxes. Pop in your savings, and before you know it, you've got a college fund. Like Kantrowitz wisely said, every dollar saved is a dollar less borrowed. It might even let you aim for that college you thought was too ritzy for your budget. Still worried about the cost? Here's a thought. Community colleges. They're like finding designer gear at a garage sale. High-quality education, but without that jaw-dropping price. Do 2 years, maybe live at home to save even more, then transfer to that swanky 4-year university. It's the same prestige, way less cash. Now let's talk about strategy. Got a college in mind, but that price is making you sweat. Before even thinking about loans, let's get creative. Consider stashing in savings accounts, taking upside gigs, or chasing after those elusive private scholarships. Treat scholarship hunting like it's your favorite game. Sites like fastweb.com or the College Board's Big Future, think of them as your treasure maps. And don't forget about FAFSA. It's like a lottery ticket for college funds. Sure, an American college degree might be pricey, but with a dash of planning and a sprinkle of savvy, it doesn't have to break the bank. So, dreams, still alive and kicking. Wallet, feeling a bit more confident. Here's a thought to wrap it up. What's the smartest money-saving tip you've heard for college? Drop a comment, and let's share the wisdom. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.